Hi guys, and it's MicheleMarieDalene, and of course today we're going to try to supplement the live streams with a video to cover more things. One of the first things I want to cover is everyday things that we never seem to have time to talk about on camera, and the reason I say that is because every time I'm on the live stream, we jump so fast between topics that no one really has a chance to have to say. Well, first day is the 15th of October, and just before I came out here and trying to get the stuff working, Donald Trump had his rally in North Carolina. 29,000 people were there. Because of the COVID-19, it was still a crowd. It was a big crowd. Quite a big difference than Joe Biden. And he said that cannot see how realistically how a man like Joe Biden could even be a good presidential candidate. Because there's so many things that are wrong with the whole equation with Joe Biden. Not even talking about his mental illness or his mental health. We're talking about the fact that his son, Hunter Biden, is a big red herring. But, it seems to me that upon listening to all the people talking about it, I think the Democrats are making the biggest mistake ever. Honestly. I think they made the biggest mistake ever, and now they can't basically backtrack from it. Like, you mean to tell me you can't figure that out? Like, you made the biggest mistake ever? You actually sat there, you put up a presidential candidate who clearly has got senile dementia, who clearly is wishy-washy, clearly has his son involved in Ukrainian deals, and getting himself into a heap of trouble. And now you're saying, well, we're stuck with them, so we have to work with them. That's stupid. Now, speaking of, I got a story of another one. I'll finish what I'm saying here. Donald Trump has already got a lot of supporters still on the ground. He has managed to successfully become the success that he could make. Okay? Big time. The next thing I want to talk about is we already know that the early voting started in many states. Many ballots have been turned in Ohio. Many ballots have been turned in other states. In fact, some of the early turnouts in some states easily exceed what was expected for early turnouts in those states. Let's not forget the mail-in ballot, shall we? Which happens to be also on the rise, as the number of people voting by the mail-in because of COVID-19 is ridiculously huge. If you got your ballots in early, does that mean that they're sealed until election night? Or will they be running the ballots ahead of time? Depends on the states, I suppose, but if you did get your ballots in early, that's great. I'm really hoping it's going to go well for you and me and other people who voted early. I know I did. Now, next topic I want to cover is the stimulus, because Nancy Pelosi put her foot in a big pile of dog doo-doo. Okay, what I mean by that is just like it sounds like. It's like Walt Blitzer basically reamed her out. He asked her, why can't she negotiate with anybody? Why does she want an all-or-nothing approach? Now, we all know CNN is a left-leaning network, and they tend to try to be very supportive of Democrats. I was very surprised that Wolf Blitzer was asking her hardball questions and expecting her a really honest, straightforward, in-your-face answers. I say to you, Wolf Blitzer, good job, good job. This is exactly what you should be doing. Ask the tough questions and give the tough answers. Now, the next thing is Steve Mnuchin also came up onto Fox News and did an interview with Lou Dobbs. And unlike Nancy Pelosi's, he pointed out the problem was that they're trying to work a deal out, but Nancy Pelosi's all or nothing approach is part of the problem, that they can't get anything done. Yeah, that's a good question. Because when you look at what's going on in the world right now, me and Pop talked about this yesterday on the channel. I'm going to explain this a bit better what I said about 2020 versus 2012, December 21st. Everybody knows the Mayan calendar. We all heard about it, 2012, that the end of an era, the Mayan calendar. 2020 is the last Octoon, whatever it is, right? And then it's supposed to be, but here's the question. Two things. Number one, we've already seen this happen when trying to calculate the birth of Christ between AD and BC. It turns out that it's very confusing because you got to deal with leap years, leap days, leap seconds. Maybe not that low, but leap hours, leap minutes, okay? The point is, the calendar is a complicated thing to calculate over an extended period of time because you can just basically realize that somebody's going to forget to calculate leap years into that calendar, and all of a sudden, what could be like 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years worth of stuff. What is happening now is what was supposed to happen in 2012. Go figure it. The major plagues, the disasters, the loss of human life, the civilization downfall. This was prophesied by so many people looking at the Mayan calendar, 2012. It didn't happen in 2012. Not really. Let's put it this way. The main singer wasn't even yet warming up her tonsils. No, look at that. Look what's going on. Plague. You got bubonic plague. You got H1N1. You got H1N5. You got Ebola. You got COVID-19. You got, because of COVID-19 and the world pandemic, the world economies are taking a dump. That doesn't sound very good, does it? So what I'm trying to get at is, after the destabilization of political borders, is this the beginning of the end of things as we know it? I'm going to think about that some more, because I'm thinking that it may very well be the end of the system as we know it. Maybe not the end of life. I don't think so. Life is tenacious, let's be honest. Of course, we do know about, we had a couple of near misses with meteorites, and other things. And there's absolutely no way you can deny that 2020 has been a terrible year. I mean, 2019 was a good year, right? Until I broke my kneecap. And all of a sudden, it became a terrible year. It seemed like right around the time I broke my kneecap is when the year all of a sudden took a nosedive. You guys think about it, December 5th. December 6th, December 9th. Holy cow, what happened? Oh, COVID-19 started coming to the United States very slowly at first from the West Coast, but it started to come into the United States. Weather was messed up because I couldn't do my job for a few months. Mother told me to just not worry about it. She says you take care of things until this year in December when I came back on the job for 2021. For 2021 season, I'll be back on a job on December 21st. Brexit happened. Me and Friedrich Simonson had made a deal. We actually made a deal in advance. When Brexit finally happens, I will give you the United Kingdom, which includes England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and the Republic of Ireland, so that you can go work the entire area from the North America to the UK and Canada. In exchange, even though I was not required to, I said, would you like to have Southwest Greenland, since I don't speak Danish anyway? I can't understand people in Danish. And she said, fine. That's a good trade. So she now has got all of Southwest Greenland. Her and Tanaya Voskov actually now have, because she married Alexandra. That's something else. So Tanaya and her have all of Greenland. They share the land mass between the two of them. Okay? Eastern Europe and Western European. Weather sorcerers. Sorceresses. So, which is fine with me, because I'm never probably going to ever move to Southwest Greenland. What do you do there? Can't even speak the language. So, I traded the land because I had one goal in my mind. And I still want to do it. Move to the UK. This is all before the COVID-19 thing. COVID-19 thing told us threw all that out the window. No one's going to move anywhere. Even if you had the resources. You're not going to move to the UK because, rightfully enough, countries are very cautious about having people traveling over to borders with this COVID-19. It's just not going to happen. Alright? So, not a good deal. Another thing, of course, is that we're talking about is what is funny from me is seeing all these people realizing that everything that we depend on, a lot of this stuff comes from China. That's where the problem came from. China. China, in its own crazy way, is a big superpower. Economically, it is the biggest superpower of all. How much do you see says made in China? This camera is made in China. That computer is partially made in China. The monitor is made in China. This microphone here is probably not. This is probably made in Mexico. Okay? This microphone, which is from the same manufacturer, definitely was made in Mexico. And the thing is, we're depending on China for everything. And then Trump says, China's going to pay for this virus. Mr. President, may I ask you a question? How? Is China going to pay for this virus? I mean, does anybody... What's the plan? Well, what are you up to? Okay? Really, seriously, I wonder what he's up to. He said on Fox News, he said that China's going to pay for the virus. So we can give up because China's going to pay for it. Great, Mr. Trump. Wonderful. While you were talking about political gerrymandering and political baloney, how about the fact is that Nancy Pelosi basically stopped every single American from receiving a check that is needed to solve the economy. I have been very fortunate. I've got a lot of supporting viewers on my channel. But even they themselves, if they are not out of a job, they're probably frustrated as hell because their whole life, the whole career, is in the toilet. Why? Do you know if you're going to have a job next week or next month, or if the company you're working for isn't going to go under because they can't make sales? Many stores are closing left and right all over the country, especially small businesses. Okay? Small businesses are closing. That's the backbone of the U.S. economy. But a lot of those small businesses depend on selling things from the big C, China. Okay? Electronics, cosmetics, little doohickeys, little doodads, little odds and ends, bric-brac, whatever. Okay, a lot of that stuff comes from China. So those companies are depending on Chinese imports, which obviously is seriously going to be scrutinized heavily. Especially for businesses, that's bad, right? So, a lot of companies are struggling to come up with ways to meet sales. And even if they have good sales. Okay? Sure, online sellers are doing better, a lot better than those that have stores. Those that have physical storefronts, what we call the brick and mortars, are facing a real problem. They have overhead fixed costs of rent, utilities to pay. But during the last COVID-19 situation, many stores were forced, during the last time in the United States and other countries, were forced to close their doors. Government said, it's for the good of the community. Well, that's fine. But it's not good for my payroll. It's not good for my bottom line. It's not good for the economy of my sales. That's why stores try to get payroll protection program, PPP. Those two programs issued. The first one supposedly ran out of money real quick. Congress had to immediately rush out and give them a refill in the PPP program. Another one was the EIDL. Economic Disaster Contingency Loan. Which basically means that it's a loan that's designed to support you during these tough times. I mean, for a shop like a computer store, that's bad enough. You can't pay the rent. But you're not going to have to worry about your food or inventory going bad or your clothes. Compare that to a restaurant. Restaurants, those that did not have delivery, those that were not substitute takeout delivery, they're screwed. They lost more than 50% of their sales. Depending on the restaurant's location, that could be bad because you're going to lose 50% of your sales. Your rent is still fixed expense. Most restaurants, yes, it's true, that yes, there are some expensive ones that make more money, but then there are less expensive ones, like say mom and pop, places that sell hot dogs, hamburgers, ice cream, because it was summer, right? Those places have got products that's sitting in freezers that couldn't sell. It was getting old, getting bad, freezer burn, whatever. They couldn't sell it. That's product you can't sell. You're not going to want to serve customer freezer burn meat, are you? You're not going to want to serve someone rancid meat or old potatoes or something. That's not going to be good for your business. So the problem was, the business still, of course, had to pay the landlord their rent. Landlords expected that. Now we have rental protection for residential renters. We have no such program for commercial real estate. Sorry guys, it's true. Unless a commercial real estate person says, okay, say to mom and pop's burger joint, let's just call them I don't know, come think of any kind of restaurant. Just say, for example, Mom's Burgers. Okay, Mom's Burgers, let's say she's renting a store for a small little hamburger stand. Let's say she's paying commercially for the smallest place she has. Let's just say she's paying $3,000 a month, which is not cheap by any way. Okay, this is an example. Let's say after, normally in the summer months, because let's say it's seasonal, let's say during the summer months, normally she makes per month after she gross. So let's say she makes about $10,000 in sales. Okay, she makes $10,000 in sales selling hamburger patties. You know, cheeseburgers, hot hamburgers, french fries, homemade shakes, whatever. So $10,000. Landlord charging $3,000 rent. That's $7,000. That is their money to pay for the employees, to pay the insurance, to pay the suppliers, to pay the utilities. Now, when the shutdown happened, they got 0 sales. Remember, they don't do takeout. 0 sales. None. Now that means that in order to keep their space, they have to pay out of their bank account the rent each month, or they're going to lose their commercial real estate property. That's not good. Well, at the same time, any products they had sitting on the shelves, like the hamburgers or dairy to make the shakes, potatoes to make the french fries, whatever, that's going bad. That means that when they opened again, like they are just starting to do right now in Connecticut when phase 2 started. Phase 2, now we're in phase 3. Phase 3, of course, says, okay, all outside dining can be open. That's fine. Right now, it's not too cold out there. It's about 22 degrees right now. It's not too cold outside. So yeah, makes sense. Mom's Burgers can still be selling nice hamburger and fries and shakes right now because it's still warm and they can still make business. Same thing with Dairy Queen and Winston. Dairy Queen and Winston is only a seasonal job. But think about this. If it was an indoor restaurant, in this case, Mom's Burgers is kind of an indoor restaurant. That's why it's so big. That's why she's paying $3,000 a month in this example. She probably has a couple tables, you know, like a small little storefront with a couple tables, maybe 3 or 4 tables. Customers can sit down and eat their burgers, fries, shakes, whatever. Others will probably go through the drive-thru or walk-up window and pick up their orders. For them, that restaurant during the summer is going to be probably seeing more people coming through the walk-through window. But in the wintertime, they probably don't even get any customers. So that Mom's Burgers, for this example, is totally screwed. Once the first snow comes, let's say, for example, as I said, they're seasonal. So maybe they're open, say, from, like the Dairy Queen in Winston, say from March until October. This whole year has been a wash. They haven't made any money. And all that rent each month they were paying has come out of its checking account for the company. Meaning they're operating at a loss. No business can work at a loss. That's one of the reasons why we need the PPP, EIDL. And yes, I agree, the restaurants do need a bailout. Absolutely. Airlines need a bailout. Tourism needs a bailout. But Nancy Pelosi, however, is too focused on cities and states and special interests that are not what the American economy needs. Businesses, the situation with the cities and states. Cities and states make money in the form of taxes. Okay? And tax revenue for them has fallen off a cliff. Just like that. Alright? Just like that. Right? Straight down. Okay, so now the the governments and states are like in a bunch of, deficit. They're like, oh my God, how are we going to pay our pensions? How are we going to pay our expenses? We can't. We can't raise taxes because there is no income to raise taxes on. There's no sales tax. You can raise that, but if you're not selling any products because of COVID-19, how can you raise taxes and expect to make it back? Trying to raise the taxes on the rich and the well-to-do, they're going to leave. Look what's going on in California right now. California is a fiscal mess, and it's getting worse. So all those that can are getting the next train out of California. Connecticut isn't doing much better. Connecticut, there is a lot of people leaving Connecticut and New York too, but there's also the sad truth is the ones that don't leave are the ones who can't leave. The ones that can't leave. Those that don't have money, that don't have the resources, can't leave. They're stuck. So as they're stuck there, wherever they may be in the cities, or in the towns, or in the villages, or whatever, all the services that they depend on are drying up. So, yeah, we need the stimulus check. I know I talk about it a lot, saying I want the $1,200 for me, but the truth is, I've got expenses to pay, and I get bills to pay too. But all of America needs the stimulus programs. Every one of us do, especially the employed, the unemployed now. But the $600 a week for $2,400 a month. That's, for some people, that's not going to do them. That's not going to do crap. Okay? Because the cost of living is going up. I mean, everything's going up. Oh, yeah. For those of you who don't know, the latest cost of living adjustment for Social Security disability is 1.3%. That's it. 1.3%. I mean, some may be able to make it, some may not. Okay? I think I'm going to be kind of in the middle. I might make it, but might be a little tight. But for most people, that's like $20 raise in your benefits. The real cost is inflation is starting to rear its ugly little head. It's not increasing its head because we printed too much money. It's raising its head because getting the stuff to market is becoming more and more difficult. Remember the price of meat? Remember what happened with toilet paper? Meat farmers and produce farmers that usually were selling things to commercial restaurants couldn't sell it to the individual stores because their meat wasn't packaged in a way that would allow it to be independently sold like we would buy it in the supermarket. Okay? I worked in the restaurant field. I know how meat's packed. I know how it's packed. It's packed in big boxes of it. Like sometimes, like brisket and stuff, you actually cut it on spot. Okay? It comes in huge pieces of meat. That's not conveniently portable and for a grocery store. Besides that, it's different classification of meat. So, the beef industry, for the commercial beef raising, is the major part of our meat production goes into commercial restaurants. No restaurants, no meat. What happens to all the cows and the pork and the chickens? They're not selling. They kill them. They kill them and they throw the meat away. Because of the classification of the meat. It's not suitable for grocery stores. So yeah, it sucks because it hurts the economy. And the meat packing industry, like Tyson Foods, was closed. So that means that people couldn't even send the for Tyson chicken. They couldn't even send it to the factories to process it at the meat packing plants. So that was the whole bottleneck right there. That's why Trump said to the meat packing industry, you gotta get this thing working. Well, now the meat packing industries are partially online. but the employees, like it had gotten a lot of them in the Smithfield had gotten COVID-19. How? I don't know, but they did. So, yeah, that's the problem. So this year, 2020, in short, has been a major problem, major clusterfuck. I know I know YouTube. You're gonna put a blank bracket and an underscore for saying that, but okay, you know it's true. It's a mess. It's a grievous mess. It's a major mundo bitchin' grievous mess. There we go. So, is 2021 going to be any better? I don't know. I can't tell you. But 2021 is going to be any better. But I can tell you this. Some of the lines that I listen to on the World of Warcraft, some of the lines of the NPCs actually kind of make me smile. We will persevere. Our enemies will fall. Hold your head up high. Things will get better. Things will improve. And my favorite, of course, is remember the sun well. Now, I know what you're going to say. What does the sun well got to do with the world economy? Let me give you another variation of it. There always is a brighter future ahead. It's just not right away. I mean, I see that once we get through this darkest time in our history, we're going to be feeling pretty groovy. We're going to feel good. Dude, it's going to be a major shakeup. We know that. It's not going to change. This is going to be a year of great pains. Americans have been through worse. People in Katrina went through worse at the local level. This COVID-19 is just a worldwide version of a Katrina. It's just not destroying buildings, but it's definitely has disrupted lives. We can overcome this. I know we can. Like one of the other lines says, we will persevere. We will persevere. We will overcome this. Well, anyway, this is running that along, but that's kind of what I wanted to mainly cover is those topics. But here's one more thing, and I'm not going to take too long on this. I want to thank all the new people that have come to the channel. But I want to make sure we understand one thing. My channel is a work in progress, and sometimes it goes all kinds of ways. From the serious to the stupid. Okay? I'm not gonna lie. That's the truth. Sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's stupid. But the most important thing I want you to know is that I want you to know that I'm going to try to put my best foot forward and to produce a good content program for you. But with live TV and live YouTube, you can't really make corrections and edit out any errors. Once it's out there, it's out there. Okay? At least this, like this, I can clean at the beginning, I can clean at the end, I can chop out things that don't work, I can, make it look good. Make it look consistent. And that's why I wanted to do this. So that we could at least try to cover something that I couldn't clearly state on a live show when the phone's ringing and everything else. Alright, speaking of the phone, this phone on here wasn't working because there's something wrong with the jack. I actually had to switch it over to another set of another cable that comes off to the wall, which was going for Ethernet. because the phone jack stopped working. I know the technical reasons, but it's kind of complicated, and I don't want to go into all the details. But just to tell you, it's fixed now. So it didn't affect the show any because it was only affecting this phone. None of the other phones in the house. So yeah, now it's working. So that's a good thing. But of course, when I was down there, I had to go take a look at the block, and I had to get on the floor, and I had to use some punch-down tools. I didn't find it too hard getting down once I took my time to lower myself to the floor, work on the jack with the punch-down tool. But I discovered that the existing jack still wasn't working, so I might have to do is replace the existing jack with a new one. So I might have to order some new Keystone jacks, but that's different. But in testing the phone jack, after I had plugged this phone in to the tester in, and I put the phone jack into the switch. Usually the switch is pretty on top of the phone switch. Usually it doesn't do any damage with the 48 volts, but 48 volts damage connection 3 and 6 on the tester. So I can't test 3 and 6. Wait, but 3 and 6 is the black and the yellow wires. You mean the manufacturer of that symbol tester didn't consider the fact that those other wires were going to be carrying possibly minus 48 volts? Huh. What? Alright, whatever. So anyway, I got to buy a nice little new inexpensive tester. It's like $14. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll buy another one of them. Well, I might as well buy myself a brand new multimeter too, because my multimeter is shot. It's old. It needs a new one. So the stimulus check is going to be buying not only the mattress, but also a brand new RJ45 tester and a new digital voltmeter for my tool set, because my other one is old and it's not working right anymore, and I don't know if it was the batteries or if it was something else, but it just needs to be fixed. So it'll be cheaper to replace it considering its age. Come on, this thing is over 50 years old, almost 30 years old, so it's not like it didn't get plenty of its years worth out of it. It got plenty of years work out of it. Well, anyway, that's another topic for another day. But so now, guys, thank you very much for watching this. I'll see you soon. See you at 7 o'clock. Bye-bye.